अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, क्या हाल है आप लोगों के? सर प्लीज़ P3 और स्ट्रीम्स रखिएगा। जी जी इंशाल्लाह, दैट इज़ द प्लान। आई डू प्लान ऑन बीइंग मोर कंसिस्टेंट विद P3। क्या करें, ऑल द अदर सब्जेक्ट्स टेक अप मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दैट आई डोंट get enough time to stream P3, but I do inshallah plan on being more regular now. I am good, alhamdulillah. I am good. How are you? P3 integration soon. So I want to start with easy topics, and the difficult topics I am saving for later. Okay. So I'm thinking कि पहले algebra करें, पहले partial fractions करें, then maybe do binomial theorem, then polynomials, then maybe absolute, and the difficult topics such as differentiation, integration, complex numbers, trigonometry, I save that for later. Sir, all my classmates have subscribed to you, and I appreciate that. I hope the content is helping. Will you be explaining the concepts first? Yes, I was thinking let's go over the concepts. Okay, although P3 में, when it comes to partial fractions especially, it's you just have to memorize the different formats. That's all there is. Okay, but we will go over the concepts. Okay, so don't worry about that. Will you do mock for P3? I think I did that last year. In fact, I think I didn't do any mock for P3 last year, so I'll probably do it this year, inshallah. Okay. So chale, let's start. I have uploaded a PDF which you guys can download. There is a link in description. You can download it from there. It contains all the past paper questions from 2020 onwards. ठीक है, हम वो solve करेंगे, and we are then basically going to increase the difficulty level step by step. ठीक है. So yeah, let's start by first introducing the concept. ठीक है. So what exactly is the purpose of partial fractions? देखो, the purpose of partial fractions, you may get a standalone question, but the purpose of partial fractions is also so that you can use it to find out, maybe you can use it to integrate, you can use it to you can use it for binomial as well. ठीक है. अच्छा क्या सीन है? What's up with my keyboard? Yeah. Partial fractions. अच्छा, those of you are asking for my schedule, देखो, streams are usually last minute. I run polls on my Instagram asking you guys what I should stream next, and depending on that, I decide the topic to stream. Okay? So I can't really share my schedule beforehand, but what I will do is, as early as possible, usually in the morning, I announce what topic it is that I'm streaming. Okay, I do that on my Instagram and I post on my YouTube also. Okay, but YouTube पे वो community post बहुत आसानी से miss हो जाती है. A lot of people don't check that, but I do post on my Instagram, so you can check it out from there. Okay, so today is the 23rd of Feb 2026. Let's start. अच्छा, अब all together, you can see that you have 4 types of partial fractions. Okay, let's have a look at all those types one by one, and then we'll see how to tackle each one. Okay, so the first type is denominator with 2 or 3 unique linear factors. Okay, the denominator with 2 or 3 unique linear factors. Okay. Also understand what is the purpose of partial fractions. There are 2 main reasons for which we're going to use partial fractions. We're going to use partial fractions for integration. We're going to use partial fractions for binomial. Okay? This is the reason why we're going to use partial fractions. In O levels, in O and A levels, this is what you guys must have done. Okay? So यहाँ पे ज़रा लिख भी लेते हैं कि partial fractions का purpose क्या है. Partial fractions. Okay? The purpose of partial fractions is basically, think of it this way, it is the decomposing of a fraction. Okay? Basically what you do is, you take a simplified fraction, okay, take a simplified fraction and write it as a sum of two or more fractions. Okay, this is what you do basically. You take a simplified fraction and you write it as a sum of two or more fractions. Okay, that's basically the purpose of partial fractions. Okay. If we take a step back, reply, sir, you're going to teach M1 or P1 today? If so, no, I'm not going to teach M1 or P1 today. Okay, I'm not going to teach M1 or P1 today. Okay, I will just be doing P3. P1, I think I'm doing a stream tomorrow. I'm doing a stream tomorrow, inshallah, of P1 of APGP. Okay. Achha, if we take a walk down memory lane, okay, so let's suppose we have something like this. 1 over x plus 2 plus 2 over x plus 3. Now, normally when you got a question like this, you would be asked to write as a single fraction. Okay, back in O-levels or IGCSE, you may be asked, you get a question like this, you may be asked to write it as a single fraction. And you would do so by taking the LCM and, cross multiplying and whatever. And this is what you're going to end up with. 3x plus 7 into x plus 2 into x plus 3. Okay, I hope nobody's wondering how to solve this. Okay, this is something that you guys have done many times in O-levels and A-levels. Okay, but what's new is this. Okay, what has changed is that now we would go in this direction if, let's say, we were in O-levels or IGCSE. Okay, in O-levels or IGCSE, we would go in this direction. Okay, we were given two or more fractions and we were asked to write it as a single fraction. Okay, अब क्या हो गया? अब हम बड़े हो गए. Okay, now we've grown up. Now this writing it as a single fraction is a piece of cake. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do it the other way around. We will be given the simplified fraction and we will basically write it as a sum of two or more fractions. Okay, this is what we're going to do now. Is it possible to finish full S1 in a week? Unless you've done it already, then it's possible. Otherwise, it's not. Okay, yeah. Now we're going to do the reverse process. Okay. Acha. Let's start with the first type. Okay, let's start with the first type. So this is type 1. In type 1, we will do where you have a denominator with 2 or more, 2 or 3 actually, because it's not going to be more than 3 anyway, 2 or 3 unique linear factors. Okay? And bear in mind that this is going to be a proper fraction. Okay? All these fractions are going to be a proper fraction. Okay. Achha, what is the difference between the two? What is the difference between a proper fraction and an improper fraction? Let's write that down. Okay, we know with numbers, but what about with algebra? So, a proper algebraic fraction looks like this. When the power in the numerator is lesser, when the power in the numerator is lesser than the power in the denominator. That is what a proper algebraic fraction looks like. ठीक है, जैसे for example, ठीक है, अब हम एक काम करते हैं. Let's do a past paper question. The condition is कि denominator में you should have linear factors and it should be a proper fraction as well. ठीक है, चलो let's do this. Let's do the first question. ठीक है, I know, that's my kid. He's not here anymore, but that was my kid. Okay, so let's solve this question. ठीक है, this is the first type. Okay. We have a denominator with 2 or more linear factors. ठीक है? अच्छा, अब ज़रा मैं notes भी लिख लेता हूँ हाथ के हाथ so that you guys can see how we're supposed to do it. So let's suppose, in fact, let's do an example question not from past papers and then we'll do a past paper question. ठीक है? So let's suppose that you have the following. You have 6x minus 2 over x minus 3, x minus 3 into x plus 1. Okay, let's suppose you have something like this, okay, and you have to rewrite it as a sum of two fractions. Achha, why are we going to rewrite this as a sum of two fractions? Because we have two linear factors in the denominator. Okay, so this can be written as a over x minus 3 plus b over x plus 1. Okay, and our task is to find a and b. Okay, this is an example question. Achha, there are two methods. Okay, I'm going to give you both the methods and you guys can decide whichever method you like. Okay, so here comes method 1. Can anyone tell me what the two methods are? Method 1 is comparing of coefficients. Okay, let's try that. Let's see how we can compare coefficients to find out the value of a and b. Okay, now there's practically nothing we can do with the left hand side, but as far as the right hand side is concerned, we can simplify it. Okay, so let's simplify the right hand side. When I simplify the right hand side, we'll have to take the LCM. The LCM will be x minus 3 into x plus 1. We'll have to multiply this with x plus 1. Now, as I multiply this with x plus 1, this becomes a into x plus 1. Okay, do not do it directly, do it step by step, no need to rush. This I need to multiply with x minus 3. So this, when we multiply with x minus 3, and now when we simplify, this is what we get. We get ax plus a plus bx minus 3 over this as it is. ठीक है, इसको copy paste कर लेते हैं to save time. ठीक है, now comparing of coefficients mean that we're going to compare the coefficient of x with x. We're going to compare the constant with constant. ठीक है? So if I rearrange it in a way that I write all the x's together and I write all the constants together, let's see how that helps. So this is going to be 3b plus a minus 3b. Okay, so I'm only focusing on the numerator. Okay, I'm only focusing on the numerator, not the denominator. Okay, so if I take x common, we have a plus b into x, okay, plus a minus 3b. ठीक है, अच्छा चलो मैं denominator भी लिख लेता हूँ so that you guys don't get confused कि अचानक से denominator कहाँ चला गया. So this is divided by this. Okay, and then here is what we get. Okay, now what are we comparing this with? We are comparing this with 6x minus 2 over x minus 3 into x plus 1. Okay, why do we call this comparing of coefficients? Because we are literally comparing the coefficient. Okay, so what is the coefficient of x on the left hand side? The coefficient of x on the left hand side is a plus b. What is the coefficient of x on the right hand side? That is 6. So that means a plus b is equals to 6. Okay, this is the same method that we would use in quadratics, okay, in AS quadratics. So we have a first equation, which is a plus b equals to 6. Okay, this is our first equation. Now for the second equation, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the constant on the left hand side, which is a minus 3b, and we're going to compare it with the constant on the right hand side. So a minus 3b, what is that equal to? That is equal to minus 2. So a minus 3b equals to minus 2, and that is the second equation. Okay. What do we do at this point? We solve them simultaneously. Now, how you solve them simultaneously, that's up to you, whether you use elimination, substitution. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. You guys are P3 students, okay? So I hope I don't have to teach you how to solve two equations simultaneously. But when you do it, A gets eliminated, B minus 3B will give you 4B. 6 minus minus 2 is equals to 8, which means B is equals to 2, and that is the value of B. Once you have the value of B, use any one of the two equations, simpler one obviously, to find out the value of A. So a plus 2 equals to 6, which means a is equals to 4, and that is your answer. A equals to 4, b is equals to 2. Okay. What we had to do was we had to rewrite this. So might as well rewrite this. In fact, let's not call this our final answer. Let's rewrite a and b. Let's rewrite the fraction, and that's going to be our final answer. So 6x minus 2 over x minus 3 into x plus 1 can be written as 4 over. Okay, remember, a was the numerator of x minus 3. So it can be written as 4 over x minus 3 plus 2 over x plus 1. Okay, so this is one method. Okay, this is one method. Acha, what's the second method? This method is the best in my opinion. Before you decide which method is best, which isn't, hold on. Okay? Don't jump to conclusions. The other method is also equally important because sometimes it will become a nightmare to compare values. So in that case, method 2 will come in handy. Okay, what's method 2? Method 2 is basically substituting. Is that how you spell it? I hope I've spelled it correctly. Yeah, substituting values of x. Okay, this is the most common method. Okay. Now, whatever method you want to use, that's up to you. Okay. But learn both the methods. In both the methods, the procedure remains the same. Okay. Except that we are, remember, only concerned with the numerator. Okay, we're not concerned with the denominator, so I'm going to cross that out and I'm going to rewrite the numerator. Okay. Okay, now I can't do method 1. Will I survive? देखो जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि it's best कि आप you learn both the methods, ठीक है, and then you can decide whichever one you want to stick to. अच्छा एक second, ये मैंने गलत चीज़ copy कर ली. I was supposed to copy this. Yeah. So copy this, compare it with this. Okay. Now here what we're going to do is, first of all, remember we are only interested in the numerator. Okay, so we're just going to ignore the denominator. So here what we're going to do is this. We're going to rearrange it in a way so that we write all the a's first and all the b's after. Okay, and what is this equal to? This is equal to 6x minus 2. Okay, now let's take a common. So we have x plus 1. Let's take b common. So we have x minus 3. Okay, and what is this equal to? This is equal to 6x minus 2. Okay, now what is this method called? This method is called substituting values of x. So one by one, we're going to substitute values of x so that we can find out the value of a and we can find out the value of b. Now, are we just going to randomly substitute values of x? No, there has to be a certain methodology behind it. What is that methodology going to be? Here's what we're going to do. So if I wish to get rid of a, that means I better multiply a by 0. Okay, if I want to make sure that in my equation, I don't have to deal with a anymore, that means I better multiply it by 0. The question is, what should I multiply a with so that we can get rid of it? The answer to that is 0. The question is, now comes the question. What should be the value of x so that x plus 1 becomes 0 so that a gets multiplied by 0? Question for you guys. What should be the value of x so that x plus 1 becomes 0? Minus 1. That is correct. Okay. So x equals to minus 1. Okay. If I substitute minus 1, here's what happens. A into minus 1 plus 1. Okay. ये मैं working सब detail में इसलिए करूँ because this is the first question that we're solving. Later on, I will not be doing these steps. 6 into minus 1 minus 2. So we get 0 minus 4b, which is equal to minus 6 minus 2 minus 8. So that means 4b equals to 8 and that means b is equals to 2. Okay. Achha, now let's go back to the same equation and tell me what should I substitute so that b becomes 0. For that, we will say let x be equal to 3. So a into 3 plus 1. A into 3 plus 1, that would make it 4. So a into 4 plus b into 0 is equals to 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 2 is equals to 16. That means 4a equals to 16, which means a is equals to 4. Okay, so in both cases, we have found the value of a and b, and that's it. That is the answer. So what that said, wouldn't it be better if you make iPad screen section more bigger and face cam section smaller? Really? Nobody has ever complained that, but if you guys think that would be better, so I can do that. That's not a problem. अच्छा एक चीज़ आई जस्ट रियलाइज्ड कि ये थोड़ा कट गया. लेट मी फिक्स दैट. या इट्स फिक्स्ड. Okay. Now, any questions? If yes, let me know. Otherwise, I guess we're good. ठीक है. Both the methods are equally important. अच्छा एक मैं नोट यहाँ पे लिख दूँ. ठीक है. And that is how will we know what to substitute? Okay. So here's an important note for that. ठीक है. Note. To find out what to substitute in place of x, simply equate the denominator to 0 and find the values of x. Like for example, what was the denominator of a partial fraction? It was x plus 1, x minus 3. If I equate that to 0, what do we get? We get x equals to minus 1 and we get x equals to 3. So these are the two values that we need to plug in. And this is how we can find out the values of x to substitute. Okay. What was, so that's not a complaint, just a suggestion. Chalo, I'll try a variation of it. I appreciate that. Okay. I appreciate the suggestion. We're always open to suggestions. I'll try a variation, see if that works. Okay. So 6x minus 2, if I equate the denominator to 0, you can find out the values of x to substitute. That means x minus 3 into x plus 1 equals to 0. So x equals to 3 or x equals to minus 1. Okay, this is how you can find out the values to substitute. Okay. अब एक काम करते हैं, let's do a past paper question. Let's solve this. So express this, just so you guys know, is February March 2020 paper 3 variant 2. Express f of x in partial fractions. Okay. Now don't just simply start solving this brainlessly. What you should first do is check whether it's a proper fraction or an improper fraction. So you can see that the greatest power in the numerator is x squared and the greatest power in the denominator will be x into x, that's x squared into x, that's x cubed. So that means we're looking at x squared upon x cubed, which means this is a proper fraction, which means we can proceed and apply the rules of partial fractions. Okay, apply the rules of partial fractions that we have learned. So first thing we need to do is this. 2 plus 11x minus 10x squared is divided by 1 plus 2x. Notice that the denominator has 3 linear unique factors. Okay, 3 unique linear factors, yeah. So that means this can be written as a over 1 plus 2x plus b over 1 minus 2x plus c over 2 plus x. Okay. So if I take the LCM, this is what we're going to get. Okay. So this is what we have. This will be equal to the LCM, which is this right here. Okay. Now the question is, what do I need to multiply a with? A already has 1 plus 2x. That means I need to multiply this with 1 minus 2x and I need to multiply this with 2 plus x. So a gets multiplied with 1 minus 2x and also gets multiplied with 2 plus x. B on the other hand already has 1 minus 2x. So that means I need to multiply it with the two remaining factors, 1 plus 2x and 2 plus x. And C already has 2 plus x. So that means I need to multiply this with 1 plus 2x and 1 minus 2x. Okay. Achha, now be prepared for a lot of working and you will find that in questions related to partial fractions. Okay. It's common. Okay. Now, achha, just so you guys know, you guys can download this worksheet. There is a link in the description where you will find this folder. Okay. Achha. Ab our concern is only with the denominator. ठीक है, हमारी concern किससे? हमारी concern सिर्फ और सिर्फ numerator से. Sorry, I said denominator, I meant numerator. ठीक है. So we only care about the numerator, that is it. ठीक है. So I will write it in a way that I write this first and I write this after. Okay. So we have two options, comparing of coefficients, or what we can do is we can plug in values. Obviously, we're going to plug in values. Okay. Acha, अब if I equate the denominator to 0, there are three values of x that we can substitute. Okay, our job is to one by one make a fraction 0. So we can substitute x equals to minus half, x equals to half, and x equals to minus 2. Okay, these are the values one by one that I'm going to substitute. Okay, so let's start by substituting x is equals to positive half. Okay, if I substitute x equals to positive half, what happens is this. ये क्या हो जाएगा हमारा? This will become 0 because 1 minus 2 into half, so that's going to be 0. So a will get multiplied by 0. Okay, this we have to find out. So 1 plus 2x, let's see what do we get. 1 plus 2 into 1 upon 2, ठीक है, multiplied by 2 plus, ये सारी working आप calculator में करेंगे, ठीक है, don't try and work it out mentally. 2 plus 1 over 2. Okay, so the coefficient of b turns out to be 5, okay, and c also gets multiplied by 0, okay, because you've substituted half, so this expression will become 0. Equals to, let's see what do we get. So we get 2 plus 11 into 1 upon 2, close the bracket, minus 10, bracket open, into 1 upon 2, the whole thing squared. So that means we get 5 as well. So 5b equals to 5, that means b is equals to 1. ठीक है, तो हमारे पास क्या आ गई, हमारे पास b की वैल्यू आ गई, इसको साइड पे रख देते हैं. ठीक है, अच्छा अब एक काम करते हैं. We do have space, but still let's be as careful as possible. Now let's substitute x equals to minus half. If you substitute x equals to minus half, here's what happens. A will get multiplied by, let's see what a gets multiplied by. So in a, here's what you have. You have 1 plus 1 minus 2x. ठीक है, in place of x there is minus half. And then you have 2 plus x, and in place of x you have minus half. So a gets multiplied by 3. ठीक है, b gets multiplied by 0 because you've substituted minus half. And c actually also gets multiplied by 0. Okay, c also gets multiplied by 0. Okay, and if I substitute negative half over here, let's see what I get. 2 plus 11 into minus 1 upon 2, close the bracket, minus 10, bracket open, into minus 1 upon 2, the whole thing square, you get minus 6. So that means 3a equals minus 6, which means the value of a is equals to minus 2. ठीक है, a आ गया, b आ गया. Now it's time to find out c, and then we will express it in partial fractions. For c, the value that we're going to substitute is 2. Okay, so if you substitute 2, minus 2, sorry, a gets multiplied by 0, b also gets multiplied by 0, and let's see what happens to c. So c gets multiplied by 1 plus 2 into minus 2, that means 1 minus 4, that's minus 3, and then 1 minus 2 into minus 2, so that's 1 plus 4, which is equal to 5. So yeah, acha, ab let's see what happens to the value on the right hand side. So 2 square. So we get minus 60 on the right hand side, which means minus 15c equals to minus 60, minus minus cancel, and that gives us the value of c, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 4. Okay. Now that we have the value of a, b, and c, now it's time to express the entire thing in partial fractions. Okay. So let's do that. Let's express it in partial fractions. We have the value of a. Here's the value of a. Here's the value of b. Here's the value of c. So minus 2 upon, what was the denominator of a? 1 plus 2x. Then we have b, which is 1. What was the denominator of b? I believe 1 minus 2x. Then c, which is 4, divided by the denominator of c, which was 2 plus x. ठीक हो गया? There you go. Lengthy, but not that difficult. Okay, which is why I wanted to start off with partial fractions, relatively simpler topics, so that we can gradually increase the difficulty level. ठीक हो गया? अच्छा, अब let me see if I can solve maybe another question which involves this concept. Let me see. I don't think इस तरह का कोई question इस worksheet में और है, because this is the simpler one ना, so the simple one is not tested too frequently. You have slightly more complex ones. Actually, there is one. There's question number 16. Let's try that. Yeah. Express f of x in partial fractions. Okay, let's do this. Where a is a positive constant. Let's see how this works. So once again, here also the method remains the same. Okay, so 36a square over 2a plus x into 2a minus x into 5a minus 2x. Okay, this can be written as a over 2a plus x plus b over 2a minus x plus c over 5a minus 2x. ठीक है, अच्छा अब एक काम करते हैं, टाइम नहीं ज़ाया करते, let's just get straight to business, meaning no need to rearrange, let's just start taking the LCM and start multiplying. So a will be multiplied by 2a minus x and will also be multiplied with 5a minus 2x. Okay, and then b will be multiplied by 2a plus x and will also be multiplied by 5a minus 2x. Okay, let's delete this. And then c will be multiplied by 2a plus x into 2a minus x. Okay, and what are the values, and what is this equal to? This is equal to 36a square. Okay. Achha, अब the question is, what are the values that we are going to substitute? What are all the values that we are going to substitute? Okay, let's have a look at that. The values that we are going to substitute depend on the denominator. Okay, so if I equate the denominator to 0, we have x equals to minus 2a, we have x equals to 2a, and we will have x equal to 5a upon 2. Okay, so these are the values that we are going to substitute one by one. Okay. Notice there is no x on the right hand side, the only x that we have is on the left hand side. So be it. So let's start by substituting x equals to 2a. Okay, you can start with minus sign, you can start with whatever you want, it makes no difference. Okay, but if I substitute x 2a in place of x, so a gets multiplied by 0, b gets multiplied by 2a plus 2a, which is equal to 4a. Okay, then 5a minus 2 times 2a, so that means 2 times 2 is 4a, 5a minus a, that's equal to a. Okay, and c also gets multiplied by 0. And what is this equal to? This is equal to 36a square. Remember the question says a is a positive constant. So b into 4a square is equals to 36a square. A square and a square cancel out each other, which means we have 4b equals to 36, which means we have enough information to find out the value of b. Okay, now let's substitute x equals to minus 2a. If you substitute x equals to minus 2a, let's see what happens. A gets multiplied by 2a minus minus 2a, so that's going to give us 4a. Be very careful, one sign error and the entire question will be wrong. Minus 2 into minus 2a will make it positive 4a. 5 plus 4a will give us 9a. Okay, I would like to double check, make sure I haven't made an error. Minus 2 into minus 2a, that's positive 4a. 5a plus 4a, that's 9a. 2a minus minus 2a is 4a. Okay. Achha, then b will be multiplied by 0 and c will also be multiplied by 0. And on the right hand side, we have 36a square. So 9 times 4 is 36. So we have 36a square times a, which is equal to 36a square. 36a square, 36a square cancel. And we have the value of a, which is equal to 1. Okay. So far so good. Now let's substitute the final value of a, final value of x, which is equal to 5a upon 2. And the purpose of that, to make a and b 0 so that we can find out the value of c. So a gets multiplied by 0. Do we have enough space? Yes, we do. B gets multiplied by 0. As far as c goes, wouldn't it be 36 times 2a? No, we're not substituting in place of a. Okay, we're substituting in place of x. Okay, on the right hand side, there is no x. So c gets multiplied by 2a plus x. That means 2a plus 5 upon 2. So that's 2a. 2a plus 5 upon 2. So just add the coefficients. So that's 9 upon 2a. and then 2a minus 5 upon 2. So that's 2 minus 5 upon 2. What's that equal to? That's equal to, I think, minus 1 upon 2. Yeah, that's equal to minus 1 upon 2a. And what is this equal to? This is equal to 36a square. So here's what happens. We get minus 9 upon 4a square equals to 36a square. First things first, a square, take out each other. 9 ones are 9, 9 fours are 36. So don't forget the c. Okay, c bhi to main bhul hi gaya. So here's what we're looking at. We're looking at minus c upon 4 equals to 4, which means c is equals to minus 16. Once you have the value of c, time to put it all together and write it as a fraction. So what will this look like? This is what it's going to look like. A was 1, so that means 1 over 2a plus x. Then b was 9, so 9 over 2a minus x. Okay, then c was minus 16, so minus 16 over 5a minus 2x. Okay, this is your answer. Walaikum assalam. ठीक हो गया? Okay, so that was type 1. Now let's do type 2. ठीक है, आज हम काम करेंगे. How many types do we have? We have 4 types, right? So we'll cover the first 2 types today, and the remaining 2 types, inshallah, we'll do in the next stream. Okay, so I will do a second part of this, don't worry. Oops. We work in terms of a because it's a constant. Yep, because it's a constant. That's why we work in terms of a. See, even if there was another constant, we would have kept that constant as it is, right? So here the difference is we are not given the constant here. That's the difference. Okay? अच्छा, type 2 को मैं काम करता हूँ. Let me just copy paste it. अच्छा, what's my streaming schedule? देखो, my streaming schedule is that I stream after iftar, okay, around this time, either 9:30 or 11, and whatever topic it is that I'm streaming, I will announce on my Instagram. ठीक है? अच्छा, then comes type 2, which is a denominator with a repeating linear factor. ठीक है? What does that look like? Let's have a look. So it could be something like this. 11x square plus 14x plus 5, this is also a past paper question by the way, over 2x plus 1 into x plus 1 the whole thing square. So when are you planning to do velocity vectors for O-level advanced? I will do it, don't worry. It's a topic that I stream every year, so this year also inshallah I'll do it, don't worry. Okay, when I'm going to do it, I haven't planned, but I will announce on my Instagram. So a over 2x plus 1, how do we break this down? It's important that you remember how to break this down. Okay? A over x plus 1 plus b over x plus 1 plus c over x plus 1 the whole thing square. ठीक है, इसकी वजह क्या है ये भी समझ लें. इसकी वजह ये है कि imagine you were working the other way around. Okay, instead of working in this direction, you were asked to work in this direction. So even if you had 3 fractions with 2 linear factors such that one was repeating, in that case, when you would take the LCM, you would take whatever it is that you have on the left hand side. Okay, so if let's say your task was instead to simplify this, what would the LCM look like? The LCM would look like 2x plus 1 into x plus 1 the whole thing square. Okay, this is what the LCM would look like. So that is why when we break it, when we work in the opposite direction, we break it down like this. Okay, why? Because if you were working in this direction, this is what the LCM would look like. So that is why when you're working in this direction, this is how you break it. Okay, you write it separately under x plus 1 and you write it separately with x plus 1 the whole thing square. So if you have x square in the denominator, then how to break that? We'll get to that also. Okay, if you have x square in the denominator, how to break that? Remember, there are 4 types. Okay, so this is just type 2, and type 2 is denominator with a repeating linear factor. Acha, let's start taking the LCM. So what do we have with a? With a, we have 2x plus 1. That means in order to bring it equal to the LCM, I need to multiply it with x plus 1, the whole thing square. What do we have with b? With b, we have x plus 1. So that means in order to bring it equal to the LCM, I need to multiply it with 2x plus 1, obviously. And I also need to multiply it with x plus 1 once. And what do we have with c? C already has x plus 1 the whole thing squared. That means if I want to make it equal to the LCM, I better multiply it with 2x plus 1. ठीक हो गया? अच्छा, अब the question is, ये क्या हो गया भाई? Yeah, the question is, what are the values that we're going to substitute? So let's have a look. Achha, what is this equal to? This we want to be equal to 11x squared plus 14x plus 5 over this right here. And remember, we're only concerned with the numerator. Okay, we are only concerned with the numerator. So we're going to cross this out. We're going to cross this out. Okay, now question, what are the values that we're going to substitute? So for a second, if you equate the denominator to 0, you will get x equals to minus 1 upon 2, and the other value that you will get will be minus 1. Okay, so these are the values that we have to substitute. So let's rewrite this. ठीक है, exam में ये सब करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. अभी I'm explaining the concept, that's why I'm just being extremely systematic. Although in exam also it's important that you're systematic, but no need to repeat it and write it multiple times, okay? So let's start with x equals to minus 1 upon 2. If I substitute x equals to minus 1 upon 2, here's what happens. A gets multiplied by minus 1 upon 2 plus 1, which is 1 upon 2. Don't forget to square it. B gets multiplied by 0. C also gets multiplied by 0. And let's see what we have on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, it's going to be 11 into minus 1 upon 2, close the brackets, take the square of it, plus 14. Make a bracket, write minus 1 upon 2, close the bracket, and then plus 5. So we get 3 upon 4 on the right. Okay, so that means a upon 4 equals to 3 upon 4, which immediately gives us the value of a, and that's equal to 3. Okay. Now the other value of x that we're now going to substitute is minus 1. Okay, now let's substitute minus 1. If I substitute minus 1, here's what happens. A gets multiplied by 0. B also gets multiplied by 0. Okay. And C gets multiplied by minus 2 plus 1, which is equal to minus 1. And let's see what we get on the right-hand side. So on the right-hand side, since it's minus 1, 11 into minus 1 squared, we get 2, which means C minus C is equals to 2, which means C is equals to minus 2. Now I have a question for you guys. What value do I substitute to find out the value of B? What value do I substitute to find out the value of B? सोचें और जवाब दें. B equals to 4? Okay, that doesn't answer my question. I can substitute any value. To find out the value of B, I can substitute any value. Okay? And I should use the existing values of A and C. Okay? So it's not necessary that I have to make A and C equal to 0. I can substitute any value and I can use the existing values of A and C. So A is 3. Okay, 3 into 0 plus 1, that's 1 squared. B is the value that we want. Okay, value of B is what we want. So if x is 0, 2 into 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 1 is once again 1. Okay. Plus C, what's the value of C? We found the value of C to be minus 2. 2 into 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, and let's see what happens on the right-hand side. 5. Achha, why is 0 a preferable value? 0 is a preferable value because it requires less work. Okay, that is why 0 is a preferable value. It's not must, but it requires less work. Okay. So here's what we get. We get 3 plus B minus 2 equals to 5. So that means B is equals to 5 plus 2, 7. 7 minus 3, that's equal to 4. Okay, and now we can rewrite it as a partial fraction. So this with the values that we have found. What is A? A is 3. So let's replace A with 3. What is B? B is 4. So let's replace B with 4. What is C? C is minus 2. So let's replace C with minus 2. There you go. That's the answer. अच्छा नहीं, या तो plus लिखेंगे या ऐसे लिखेंगे. Okay, either write it like this or don't write minus and then minus again. Or write it like this. Write the minus sign only once. Like this. ठीक हो गया. So let's do some past paper questions which follow this concept, where the denominator has a repeating linear factor. I think this was one. Yeah. So first test, is this a proper fraction? Yes, it is, because the maximum power in the numerator is 1. The maximum power in the denominator is x cubed. So this is definitely a proper fraction. Okay, now what do we do if it's not a proper fraction? That's something we're going to discuss later on. अच्छा, अब सवाल ये है कि how do I rewrite it? So 24x plus 13, this is how I'm going to rewrite it. A over 1 minus 2x, B over 2 plus x, and C over 2 plus x, the whole thing squared. So just so you know, you can solve B and C. Meaning, under B you can write 2 plus x squared, and under C you can write 2 plus x. Okay, so this is totally what we call swappable. Okay, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can totally do that. Okay, I'm not sure if swappable is a word, but you guys get the point, right? Equals to, what is this equal to? This is equal to 24x plus 13. अच्छा, अब a को किससे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे? a को हम मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे with 2 plus x, the whole thing square, because we're comparing it with the LCM, right? So we have to multiply a with 2 plus x, the whole thing square. It already has 1 minus 2x. B needs to be multiplied with both 1 minus 2x and 2 plus x as well. C, on the other hand, only needs to be multiplied with 1 minus 2x. And what are we equating this with? We're equating this with 24x plus 13. ठीक हो गया? Okay, now let's one by one plug in the values of x. So the values of x that we're going to plug in are half and minus 2. Okay, so let's start with minus 2. Okay, for no good reason, let's start with minus 2. So 2 plus minus 2, that's going to be 0. B will also get multiplied by 0 because it has a 2 plus x. C, on the other hand, minus 2 into minus 2 is 4. 1 plus 4, that's equal to 5. And for this, I better use a calculator. 24 times minus 2 plus 13, that's equal to minus 35, which gives us the value of C to be equal to, basically 5C is equals to minus 35, which gives us the value of C as minus 7. Okay? Value of C aa gayi, minus 7. Now, let's find out the value of, let's plug in x equals to half and let's see what that gives us. So a will get multiplied by half plus 1, which is 2 plus half, half plus 2, which is 5 upon 2. Don't forget to square it. B gets multiplied by 0 and C also gets multiplied by 0. 24 into half is 12. 12 plus 13, that's equal to 25. Okay. So this will make it 25a upon 4 equals to 25. 25 and 25 cancel, which means a is equals to 4. Okay, now always keep an eye on the amount of space that you have. To find out the value of B, let's plug in a independent value. Let's go with 0. So A we found out to be 4. Okay, 4 into 2 plus 0, which is 2. Don't forget to square it. Then B gets multiplied by 1 minus 0, which is 1, and 2 plus 0, which is 2. And C gets multiplied with 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1. And this is equal to 13. Achha, sorry, we've figured out the value of C, so let's use that. And that is minus 7. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 2B minus 7 equals to 13. So 2b is equals to 13 plus 7, which is equal to 20. 20 minus 16 is equal to 4. So that means b is equals to 2. Okay, and once you do that, you can now write it as a partial fraction. Okay, let's copy this. Let's paste it here. And let's start replacing. No, wait a minute. Is this the same thing? No. So I'll just write it from scratch. So a is 4. 4 over 1 minus 2x. Plus b, which is 2. So 2 over 2 plus x. And c is minus 7. So minus 7 over 2 plus x, the whole thing square. ठीक हो गया? चलें एक और सवाल करते हैं, फिर हम type 2 को यहीं पे रखेंगे. We'll pick this up again inshallah in the next class. So let me see if I have, yeah, let's do this. This is type 2. So this will be a over 2x plus 1 plus b over Once again, this is an improper fraction. Why? Because the maximum power in the numerator is x squared. The maximum power in the denominator will be x cubed. So b over x plus 2 and c over x plus 2, the whole thing square. Okay? What will we multiply a with? We'll multiply a with x plus 2, the whole thing square. And what will I multiply b with? B I'll multiply with 2x plus 1 into x plus 2. And what do I need to multiply c with in order to bring it equal to the LCM? Simply 2x plus 1. And what is this equal to? This is equal to 3 minus 3x squared. ठीक हो गया? Okay. Now what are the values that we need to plug in? We need to plug in x equals to minus half, and we need to plug in minus 2. So let's start with minus 2. So a into minus 2 plus 2, that is 0. So a gets multiplied by 0. B also gets multiplied by 0. C, however, gets multiplied by 1. And minus 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 minus 12, that is minus 9. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, I better use a calculator. 3 minus 3 into minus 2, the whole thing square. So that's minus 9. That means c is equals to minus 9. Straight away, we have the value of c. Then let's plug in x equals to minus half. Okay, let's plug in x equals to minus half. Okay, if I plug in x equals to minus half, here's what happens. A times minus half plus 2, so that's going to be 1.5. So that's 3 upon 2, the whole thing square. Okay, b gets multiplied by 0. And c also gets multiplied by 0. Let's see what happens on the right hand side. So that's 3 minus 3 into minus 1 upon 2, close the bracket, the whole thing square. That's equal to 9 upon 4. Okay, so we have 9a upon 4 equals to 9 upon 4, which coincidentally leads to a equal to 1. Okay, because 4 and 4 cancel, 9 and 9 cancel, and we have a is equals to 1. Okay, now with the value of a and c, let's find out the value of b. Okay, for that, I'm going to plug in a completely separate independent value, which is x equals to 0, and then let's see what happens. So if I plug in x equals to 0, so minus 3c equals to minus 3. Okay, did I make a mistake? Oh yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. I should have kept the answers in front of me. So you're right, c gets multiplied by minus 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. Minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. You're right. So minus 3c equals to minus 9, which means c is equals to 3. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now let's plug in x equals to 0. So a is 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. Okay, so that's, don't forget to square it. B gets multiplied by 0 plus 1, which is 1, and 0 plus 2, which is equal to 2. So B gets multiplied by 1 and then 2. And C, which is 3, gets multiplied by 2 into 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And on the right-hand side, we have 3. So that means 2B plus 3, 1 plus 2B plus 3 equals to 3, which means 2B is equals to minus 1, which means B is equals to minus 1 upon 2. Okay, just to be on the safe side, let me see if that's the correct answer. No, wait a minute. I think I've made a calculation error somewhere. So A is 1, C is 3. Oh, I forgot to square it. Here. 2 squared is 4. Yeah. So 2b is equal to minus 4, which means b is equals to minus 2. Okay, and now you can express it in partial fractions. A is equal to 1. So that's going to be 1 over. That is going to be 1 over 2x plus 1. Plus b, which is minus 2. So minus 2 over, what is the denominator of b? X plus 2. Okay, and then plus c, so that means 3 over, what's the denominator of c? That is x plus 2, the whole thing square. So x plus 2, the whole thing square. So this right here is the answer. Okay, now questions like these have a follow-up part, which is usually binomial. ठीक है, तो वो हम इंशाल्लाह जब हम binomial करेंगे ना तो तब देखेंगे. ठीक है. अच्छा, so what we have done in today's stream is this. We have covered type 1 and we have covered type 2. Now I know I'm cutting the stream short, but I have to. Okay. In the next stream, inshallah, we'll look at type 3 and type 4, okay, which I will announce on my Instagram. I think most likely it will be tomorrow, okay, but make sure to check my Instagram and see when it is, but I think it's going to be tomorrow, inshallah, okay. So I will stop here. So before today's class, I thought you would no, my kid is 2.5 years old. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, I will do the next part soon. Don't worry, guys. Okay, so I'll stop here. Jate jate, if you haven't liked the stream, would appreciate if you guys do that, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. So, okay, we'll pick this up inshallah in the next class. So take care, fellas. Allah Hafiz.